This week's episode is sponsored by Gratitude Apparel Clothing. You can find all the information within the description. Give them a follow. Thank you. Hello everybody, welcome to the Billy Moore podcast, and today's special guest is none other than Darryl Laycock, former gang member, Pepper Hill, Gooch. If you know your history, you know the war that went on. Thanks for coming on, Darryl, and
thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your story. Come on.
Born in Hume, conceived through rape, which nobody don't really know. I only found out when my mum was on her deathbed. Moved from Hume to Moss Side, growing up with lots of domestic violence in the house, a lot of alcohol, a lot of domestic violence. Dad beating my mum. When he'd had a drink. When he hadn't had a drink, he was like the nicest man in the world. But when he'd had a drink, he'd just beat my mum and he'd terrorise her and everything. And then one day, my mum had enough, and the first person I seen ever get stabbed was my dad. My mum stabbed him in his chest, his shoulder and his arm.
And this is what you've seen growing up?
Yeah.
So you were born into violence, basically?
Yeah, I was born into violence, and now it's like learnt behaviour. I realise it was learnt behaviour that I got involved in, but I'm not going to blame my dad, I'm not going to blame my mum, because I knew what was wrong and I knew what was right, and I done what I did, and I turned it round 10 years ago.
Yeah, and that's something we'll talk about in a bit. But like growing up, right? And I like what you said. You know, you knew what was right and you knew what was wrong. So why do you think you felt that you went down that path? Was it exciting? Was it extreme?
No, to begin with, I went off on the streets to escape what was at home, because I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't save my mum. My mum wouldn't leave him at that point, so I didn't see what was happening at home, and I was with loads of other people. They were seeing shit like that at home as well. I'm not going to talk about other people, but a lot of people were seeing the kind of stuff that I was seeing.
Yeah, so you grew up around your peers in them areas, and you all experienced similar stuff. So did you feel like you could, like, because I had it, mate, did you feel like you had that connection?
Yeah, we was all going through stuff. We weren't all going through the same stuff, but we was all going through stuff.
Yeah. So you just sort of like ganged up in a sense?
It was just a group of friends to begin with, and then it became a gang, innit?
Yeah.
You know how it goes, innit? Nobody sets out to go in a gang, but it was formed. I was part of Pepper Hill, which was later, some people was known as Dodderton. I got a tattoo saying PHC, Pepper Hill Crew, DOG, Dodderton Original Gangster, back in the day. But I've let that life go.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing that you can do that and achieve the stuff that you're achieving today, you know, when you're being a benefit. I remember we've got mutual kind of acquaintances from prison back in the day, HMP Hindley. It was, you know, there was a lot of like Pepper and Gooch. Remember when he used to come in, he used to put them on one wing?
Yeah.
And you used to be on the other wing.
Yeah.
And we were talking on the phone about Turbo.
Yeah.
Because he was a regular as well, weren't he, in and out?
Yeah. He was my mate, innit? I went to school with Turbo, Julian. He got killed about 3 days before he was supposed to come and visit me in Marlands. I'd got moved out of Inler because of violence. They sent me to Marlands 3 days before he was supposed to come and see me on the Saturday he was killed.
How did that make you feel?
Made me feel... I was devastated, to be honest. I was devastated. I smashed up myself and everything. In the end, I made him send me back to Inler. I wasn't going to stay in Marlands. You know, I had unfinished business to deal with in Inler.
Yeah, because there was a lot of... I mean, I don't think the Scousers and the Manx back then got on. That's all, did they? Either. It was like, that was another
Yeah, a lot of Scousers and the Salford boys and the Scousers was at it. I don't know. God rest his soul. Vinny Clay. I don't know if you remember
Vinny.
Vinny.
I remember Vinny.
And Awe, Simon Awe.
Yeah.
He died about 18 months ago.
Wow.
God rest their souls. Yeah, they kind of like represented for Manchester. Them two was fighting against all of the Scousers.
Young Terry McCann.
Yeah, I was just going to say Terry McCann, yeah. You know?
Terry was like the smallest Scouser I'd ever come across, but he could bang.
Yeah, Paul Parker, the old Flyers.
Yeah, the old Flaties, Donovan and Darren.
Yeah. Good guys,
I seen Donovan not so long ago. Yeah. And I tell you what, it's like you realise how old you are when you see these. You know, you haven't seen people for decades.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're the same age as me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Dominic's the same age as us, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yeah. So it's like we've like travelled like and survived like almost what three decades. Easy.
4 decades.
Yeah, because what?
From the 80s to the 90s to the thousands, and now we're in the 10s.
Yeah.
We're in the 20s.
So tell me about because I try not to do too much research, and I know the history of like the Pepper and the Goose only because I was in prison at the time, and it was on the news. It was all over. You know, it was all over national news. There was a lot of violence back then. There was all those bulletproof caps. Everyone was wearing them and bulletproof vests. They were kind of...
Yeah, a lot of people had bulletproof vests, except the tight cunts that didn't want to spend no money. You know, but I was a man that he couldn't put a value on my life, so by all means necessary, I had to protect myself. My investments was guns and vests.
So, you know, with all the violence and that, was you involved in like the drugs and...
Yeah, I was selling drugs from a young age, but the violence I was key in the early days to the violence. Yeah. You know, I was known to cause trouble. I was known not to back down to people, and I was known to instigate stuff. Yeah.
You actually got shot 27 times, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that day. That's...
It's mad because, how can I put it? We was all part of one circle, and then there was little discrepancies, different arguments, and it kind of split. Someone was killed. Raymond Pitt was killed, and I was on one side, even though it was nothing to do with me. But my friends were there, his friends was there, and I was arrested for the Raymond Pitt murder. I was released after 2 days, and I thought that was it. I had nothing to do with it, so nothing couldn't happen. So one night I went out the same night that I got released. I went to the Western pub. I was a bit drunk. My mate called Ladders, JG, it's like that to me. Come on, get in the car. And I was like that to him. Nah, nobody can't fucking touch me. I thought I was invincible. Like that, nobody can't touch me. Little did I know. About 15 minutes later, I'd get shot 27 times. And the girl that I was with, she got shot twice. But she was on the floor and I lay on top of her. You know, and like I said in gun number 6, if it was my gangster mind, people misconstrued what I said in gun number 6. If I was thinking like the bad man side, I would have pulled her on top of me, but I didn't. My mum always taught me to be a gentleman, so I lay on her, and it was because of me that she got shot.
And what happened following that? Like, you know, because how did you survive 27 bullets?
I don't know. I had a vest on, but some of them got pierced. If you work it out, I would have got shot more than 27 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some went under, some went over. Shoulders, my back, my bum, my legs, my chest. Yeah, I survived. And you know what? I think there's a higher power, because as you know, I've been shot 27 times on one occasion. I've been shot once on 2 occasions. I've been stabbed 7 times.
Wow. Like that's like I know I've lived some lifestyles that on me, and you know, I've been in some really, you know, horrible situations, and I've been shot at, and I've been stabbed, and I've been slashed. not to the extent that yourself have, and I do believe, I do believe in a higher power. Like whatever it is, I don't know, mate. It's like call it divine intervention. Someone stepping in and going, look, you're better than this, because there's been many times when I know I should have been dead. You know, and I believe that yourself, you should have been dead.
Yeah. I do believe it. That's why I'm thankful for every day. I believe that there's nobody else like me in this world. And I'm not saying I'm better or bigger than anybody. It's like no one else like you in this world. We're all unique. And I was put on this planet to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with over 250,000 kids.
Exactly. And
I've worked with over 3,000 students this week.
Brilliant. See, this is and I've got a similar experience where years ago, I don't know if you ever had this, when someone will come and try and speak to you and tell you, this is not the right way to do things, and you can change your life, and you look at them thinking, wait, you don't know nothing, you haven't been there. It's only people like ourselves that have lived those experiences that can sit there in front of a group of young kids or adults in prisons and go, look, there's a way out. You don't have to go down the route I did. And you're not going to reach everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Lived experience, back in the day, people used to say, don't do this, don't do that. It was like people from university. How could me and you relate to people from university?
Yeah.
I do now because I give lectures in university, but what I'm saying is lived experience is the way forward. And it's if kids see the real life experience and we tell them how it is and don't hoodwink them and don't lie, kids will listen. And I know jail ain't
the answer. No.
A piece of cake. You know what happens in jail. People do get sexually abused in jail. People always say they don't and things like that because of male pride. A lot of people won't say nothing like that. When we was in Inley, we was given a jug, we was given a piss pot. We had to piss and shit in a jug. Do you know the best thing to ever happen to the jail system was the Strange Ways riots? Because everyone got a toilet.
Exactly.
And a TV.
Because we were in like I said, we were in prison back in the day when it was just a piss pot in the corner. And everyone was pissing out the windows.
Out the window. Putting the drinks on the window and pissing out the side of them.
Yeah, I like just. Do you remember all the kids singing songs?
Yeah.
Used to go like, look.
Oh, MacDonald.
10 cheesy bellends.
Yeah.
I see. I'd be doing cruel. Like he's like.
Oh, MacDonald. I had a Cosworth with an handbrake here, a handbrake there.
Again, you that it was So that was a fucking.
A lot of people got terrored in jail. And that's the time when the screws used to give you a good dig.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You're either getting tethered, or you become the fucking the one who's tethered on them.
You know what? Let me tell you this. When I first arrived, I knew Turbo and all my people was in the jail. Yeah, do you remember the fat slags in reception?
Yeah,
I worked in reception. The two fat slags. The fat slags are these big fat white guys. One had glasses. Both had bald heads. He was from Warrington. One of them told me to take my trainers off.
Yeah, I remember.
The guy was trying to take my trainers. I just had to tell him, get to fuck.
That was a big
the
thing.
The fat slags, do you remember?
That was a thing that was happening back in Italy back in the day. Everyone was getting the trainees dropped off them.
Exactly, yeah.
And it wasn't it was an horrible experience. I remember going in there and feeling really
getting
scared.
robbed off somebody from Warrington.
Yeah.
Though.
Did you have that fear though? Because I did.
No, you know why I didn't have that fear? Because I had people there
that were supporting you.
Do you know when I landed there, everyone was there, innit? Julian Turbo was there. I'm not gonna name anybody else. Snapper was there. Yeah. There was a few others there, so I knew that I was gonna be all right.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah, you need someone on the inside.
Yeah.
If you first landed.
Definitely, that's what I tell these kids. Yeah, you might know somebody in jail, but you're gonna come across some of your opposition in jail, and they might put you on the same wing. Do you know what I mean? You might know someone in a jail, but when you go on the reception wing, your boys ain't gonna be there. They're gonna be over on another wing, a sentence wing or a remand wing, and you know yourself, you only stay there on the beginner's wing, starter wing, reception wing for about a week, 2 weeks.
So when you go into when you speak to these kids or these students and stuff, do you let them know, because this day and age it's spice.
Yeah,
that's a big that's a big thing now in the prison establishments. You've got spice and now you talking about people getting sexually molested. When you're on that, and you're under the influence of it, and you're like a fucking zombie in a coma, right? Anything can happen to you. So this is what my role was when I was mentoring, when I was in Bolton prison. I was giving a little bit of guidance to the newcomers. Look, be mindful. So what message have you got?
I just tell them how it is. You know, if something happens to your mum or your dad when you're in jail, or your brothers and sisters, don't expect to go to the hospital. Don't expect to go to the funeral, because you're not guaranteed to go to the funeral. And if you do, it's going to be an embarrassment, because you're going to go in handcuffs. Do you know? You can't protect your family. I'd rather be broke and free than rich in jail. And you know yourself, these kids are running around going out of town and shit. What for? Bags of weed. Yeah. To cover the weed at desk, to cover the weed habits. Do you know what I mean? They've all got holes in the trainers.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous what's happening now. All that county line stuff.
Yeah, I tell kids now, yeah, if you've been in trouble, stay out of trouble for a bit and get in touch with me. I'll show you how to package up your stuff and sell your lived experience. Yeah. Because a lot of them kids have been through the care system like myself. And people will pay good money for that. Obviously, I don't do everything I do for money, because about 80% of my work now is for free. Where a few years ago, it was like 98% of it was for free. But yeah, so yeah, I tell them how it is.
Now, we've all got bills to pay. I understand. You know, you can't just keep giving and not receiving.
Nah, but to be honest, I'm not going to lie. As you know, I always wear twins and base security stuff. When I've been doing things for the last few years for free, they've made sure my bills are paid. They make sure I got food on my trainers, on my table, and clothes on my back. You know, so I've been all right. I've been able to do it for free.
Yeah, you've been looked after. You know what I mean? Been taken care of, which is important. You know what I mean? So going forward, right? Let's. What was the decision? Was it getting shot that made you change your way of living?
No, I don't really go into the decision, the reasons and all that, but something happened to a family member, and I thought to myself, I made promises that I can't go back to that life. Do you know? I was willing to die and I was willing to kill for my mates, but when something happens to my family, I have to think I've got to put them first. Because you know yourself, when you're in that life, you might love your kids, but you're not showing them love. You're kind of like materialistic from a distance, because you're always on the road. You're always trying to catch somebody or avoid somebody. So that's what it was. It was family that made me turn my life around. And you know what? Thank God for that. But you know what I thank God for? The best thing to ever happen to me, people say your kids this and your kids that. The best thing to ever happen to me was the 9th of August 2008. I got caught with 500 bullets. The best thing to ever happen to me. Because if I didn't, I would have got back to Manchester. People would have been killed. I'm not saying I would have killed them.
But then bullets.
Whoever I shared the bullets out between, people would have been killed. So the best thing to ever happen was to get caught with them bullets.
What happened? What did you get sentenced to for that?
Got 5 years for it.
Wow.
I got 5 years.
People don't realise the sentences you're getting. You know what I mean? You know.
And you know what? I would have got more, but because of my other codees, they had lots more charges in the totality thing. So they got less than they should have, and I got around about the average. Do you know, one of my codees, Michael Mann, Chinese guy, he was under observation, and obviously when the Matrix seen me, they knew about me. That's when they stopped the observation. They called it a day and they got us all together. My codee, Michael Mann, he got caught with pure machine guns, like with tripods, bipods, things that you put on the back of Jeeps.
Wow.
You know?
It's the AC.
Honestly, 2 Eckler and Koshes was found in his house. They never made it to the police station. No. Matrix. They never made it to the police station, which was good for him. Yeah. So it shaved some time. But you know yourself, the Matrix, biggest crux in the world.
Yeah, so you believe that's like they've confiscated them guns for themselves?
Well, they didn't make it to the police station. We weren't questioned.
So they weren't even questioned?
We weren't questioned about them.
So where do you think they went?
They're back on the street.
sold
And you
back
know,
on.
back in the day, you know about the Matrix in the papers for taking people's property and selling it.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like a guy was in jail with Tommy Baker, God rest his soul. I don't know if you know Tommy Baker. His son was killed by the police in a motorbike chase years ago. Well, Tommy...
Was he from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Thomas Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thomas Baker, I was in Walton with him.
Oh, he got shot not so a couple of years ago.
No, that was it. That was his son.
His son?
The dad.
Oh, yeah.
The dad, I was in jail with his dad, and he got caught with a load of work. About 870 grand. Only 520 grand made it to the police station.
So,
which was good for him because he got a bit of a less of a sentence.
Yeah, but you know there's corruption within the
Matrix. Matrix, you know yourself.
See, when it was us, when we were young, there was no Matrix.
Yeah.
It was CID, it was OST. I don't know whether it was the same in Manchester, the operation.
We had TAG.
We had Operation Support Division, the OST, and they were just as fucking bad, mate. I remember, right, and this is the truth, right, I got pulled up, plain clothes, put in the back of his car. Next thing, they got them, you know, remember the way they used to twist you up? They've got me in the back, two of them in the back, I'm in the middle, twisting me up, and they're saying, who's doing all the blags, who's selling all the drugs, and I'm screaming, I don't know, because I'm not a grass, mate. You can do what you want, I'm not a grass, and they're still twisting me up. They've pulled up in Newsham Park, in Liverpool. The driver's got out, went to the boot, and this is straight up on my mother's life, right, Darryl. He went into the boot, he's pulled out this towel, rolled up, well, like he's going to bats, got back in the car, unfolded this towel, and pulled out this fucking dirty big, must have been a Magnum or something, so I couldn't tell you what it was, right, he's pulled it out, and he's got me on the back seat, and he's pointing at me. This is the fucking police, these are the people who were supposed to be protecting us. I haven't even done nothing, by the way, and he's got a gun, and he's got bang, so, and I knew, I thought, these are fucking not going to do nothing with that.
Yeah,
it's just a scare tactic.
You know what it is? You're saying that about the police. Back in the day, the police used to grab me on my estate, beat me up and drop me on Gooch outside their headquarters, this pub, and bib it on and drive off. And I'd be battered on the floor. I see people coming out. I've had to get up, and I've always been a fat cunt. So I've had to get back to my own estate. And I think they could have caught me if they wanted to, but it wouldn't be proper, is it, if the police dropped me to them.
They're picking you up and dropping you off in your enemy's area.
Yeah, beating you up first and then throwing you out of the van.
And then just leaving you
and
there.
Driving off, yeah.
Knowing that you could fucking end up dead yourself.
Yeah.
So they're not really...
Yeah, but you know what? I don't complain about it for the simple reason the dynamics of life have brought me here to sat here with you today. All them things that have happened bad, all them things have happened good, all them things that have gone wrong have brought me here today.
I'm kind of a similar ideology to yourself, because I think to myself that the consequences that I created growing up, right, I can't like put any blame, you know, because that's what I was involved in. I was in that life.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, you know, some days they just pull up and go, what colour screwdriver do you want? You know, when you're doing nothing and you're just trying to get your shit together and you're just getting on with it. I've had that, mate. Choose a screwdriver, and they threw me in and they've charged me with going equipped. And I've never done that, and I've had to throw my hands up in court and go, yeah, guilty, just to get out. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was loads of fucking occasions like that. So I ended up with like charges for no reason, other than the consequences that it created.
Yeah, you know what? Every crime has a consequence. Every good action has a reaction. You know, what goes around comes around. Do you know? So it is what it is. I'm sat here today. I'm not in the best of health. I've lost about 5 or 6 stone in the last 7-8 months. But
that's good.
No, I've had a bit of a problem, but I'm alive, and I'm thankful every day. I suffer a lot of mental health. I've got PTSD.
Yeah.
So every day, no matter if I wake up low, I'm always thankful for life, because I know over 60 people that have been murdered. Do you know what I mean? Most people don't know 16 people that have died through natural causes. Yeah. So I'm thankful. Most of my good mates was killed before they was 25.
No, you can see the gratitude, mate. It shines within you, and I like the fact that you've grounded yourself. You know what I mean? And that okay, we do suffer with mental health. Some of us, you can't not suffer with any kind of PTSD.
You know what it is. I believe we all suffer from mental health, but when some people don't display it and they see people like me and you with it, they buzz off us. But I'm not bothered for the simple reason, when I speak up, I make a difference. I get kids to speak up about things. You know, I've done a video the other week on mental health, so you know it's gone pretty good.
How does it affect you? Your mental health. How does it have an impact on your daily life?
Different days. All days are different. I don't have bad days every day, but when I do have bad days, I feel like I don't want to be here no more.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to do with the gang thing. That's mostly because I was so close to my mum, and my mum died in 2015. So all the time I think to myself, I should be with my mum now, do you know? Because I never figured out that my mum would die before me because of the life I lived. I thought I'd go before her.
Yeah.
And your mum can teach you everything, but she can't teach you how to live without her.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I've heard that. And I know it doesn't even seem that long ago, 2015. So
and it's fresh, you know. It doesn't get no easier. Honestly, it don't get no easier.
Yeah, I had the I felt ashamed when my dad passed away in 2013. You know, for me, I had to be on the receiving end of his violence and his way of life and his drinking. Do you know? And I think the last 10 years of his life, we had that bit of closeness. You know, and I wish there was more to it. But then when, you know, and I had the same kind of sadness going on.
Horrible, isn't it?
Have you got family members as well?
Yeah, I've got brothers, I've got sisters. But what I didn't tell you earlier, my mum escaped my dad for a bit. My mum escaped my dad for a bit and got with another man. I had a kid to him. And when he was like 18 months old, his dad come and took him and kidnapped him. Fucked off to Toxteth for 5 years, I believe. And then he went to Africa. It took us 30 odd years to find our brother. My mum 30 odd years to find her son.
So where was he in the end?
He was in Nigeria.
You're messing. So he's fled the country.
His dad took his son, yeah.
Did he have? So you've met him? Have you? Met him?
I met him.
And what was the feelings?
It wasn't
no connection.
Nah, it wasn't right, man. It wasn't right, you know. It wasn't right. It's my brother, and you know what? Sometimes I feel to myself, they'll reach out to him and bring him back in the fold, but the stuff that my mum told me, I can't forgive. Do you know? From a son to a mother, my mum didn't do nothing to nobody. Do you know? It wasn't my mum's fault that his dad took him abroad. But he treated my mum like shit. So, my mum's my mum, innit?
Yeah, and you know, my dad treated my ma like shit, mate, and I know how it feels. You know, when you feel like quite small and vulnerable and you can't protect her at an early age. You know, I'm identifying with you here on that one, Darryl, and I just, you know, I've recently finished a second book, and it was most of my mental fucking health was down to like not being able to protect me mum, you know, feeling quite vulnerable, and I wrote about that, and I remember seeing him asleep and wanting to end his life, but I was only about 8 years old. Now, what kind of stuff goes through a kid's head to actually think like that? You know what I mean?
It's because you're seeing that, innit? It's learned behaviour. You know, you've got no fear. You want, your mum's always going to be idle. My mum used to say, you can have 1,000 fathers, but you can only have one mother. And it's true. There's no love like a mother and a son.
So, for the last 10 years, you've been out of prison.
Yeah.
So we're talking, we're in 2021 now, right? So, for the past 6 years, your mum's passed away. So for 4 years, she had her son back, in a sense, didn't she? Yeah. What was the relationship like? It
wasn't like 4 years, because when I got released from jail, the police said I was the most dangerous person in the northwest of England. So I had to live in Liverpool. I wasn't allowed to go and see my mum.
Yeah. You stayed in Liverpool for...
Yeah, I was in Kenner. I was in St Michael's, where my guy got killed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The hostel in Egbert. I was in there for 8 months.
Yeah. So
And
that's...
then I got a house in Kenner.
How long did you stay in Kenny in Liverpool for?
Till my mum got diagnosed with cancer. My licence had just finished a couple of months before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then he let you come back.
They couldn't stop me because my licence had finished, innit?
So that's it. Then you spent the rest of your time with your mum.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in what you're doing these days?
How did I get involved? What it is, my mate Sarah Benjamin, Clay's cousin, Spenner's cousin and that.
Russell and Spenner,
Yeah. She worked for an organisation called Cells, and she introduced me to the guy Sean.
That's in Kirby, innit?
Yeah. Fucking, I swear, he's an amazing guy. He was like the father figure, like brother figure that I needed. When I come out of jail, my head was all over the place. I wasn't allowed in Manchester. I had to stay in the hostel. I had to go back every couple of hours to sign in to prove that I'd not gone back to Manchester. And he gave me an opportunity to volunteer, and it's gone from there.
So was this in Liverpool, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I spoke to Sean a couple of years ago. I was quite interested in what he was doing. And I don't know if it's still going.
Yeah.
Is it still going now, is it?
Yeah.
It's where Shells is where they introduce children and young kids into like a prison environment.
Yeah, they take a mobile prison cell.
Yeah, and say, look, this is how it's going to be if this is the route you're going to take. Do you think that is? Do you think that works?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. It don't work with everything.
No.
Do you know? If you got one person, you've done enough. Do you know? Because most people just sit on their asses and turn a blind eye to what's happening on our streets until it's on their front door.
So it's good that people have recognised that you've got an ability and a skill to offer, right? Because that's what it is. Because tell you now, not everyone who's been away or been through the experiences that we've both been through have sought out redemption, because that's what it is. You're resilient, right? You're quite skillful. You're obviously articulating, you're delivering a message to these youths about change and transformation. How does that make you feel? Knowing because I know how it makes me feel, but I want to know how it makes you feel when you're delivering that message.
You know what? How can I put it? Sometimes I don't feel good about it for the simple reason I should have been doing this years ago.
Yeah.
It's like when anybody gets stabbed in my area, I've got blood on my hands because I never shown the youngsters a better way. Do you know? So I carry all that. I take it on. I shouldn't. Everybody of my era should take it on, but I take it on myself. Sometimes I feel good. Yesterday I felt good. The last 3 days I've not slept for a couple of days. I got some sleep last night because I was working in a college. Then I went and done a night shift, covered a night shift for someone, and then straight back to the college in the morning. So I felt good delivering to every student in Upwood Hall over 3 days. But sometimes I don't feel good. Sometimes I feel like I'm to blame for knife crime, I'm to blame for gun crime and things like that. Even though I'm not, but I must own up to what I've done and what I've not done, you know. So I need to take it on the chin and deal with it.
Yeah, but you're not your mistakes and you're not your past, and what they say is like the reason there's rubbers on the end of pencils is because we can erase that mistake and rewrite history. You know what I mean? So for you, you were involved, you were young, you were involved, and I could say the same, Darryl, about my own kind of. I was involved in addiction. It was like I was probably on the receiver end of drug dealers. I was doing things that I didn't want to do. I was in and out of prison all my life. It was all to fund the drug habit. It was never for financial gain. I was never involved in any gangs. I tried to mix with people, but I always felt different. So we've got different kind of ways of growing up. But I always look at my mum and my family and think, I put them through hell. She was praying that I'd get arrested. My ma used to go, fucking hell.
That's just like my mum.
Yeah.
My mum would sleep when I was out.
Exactly.
And when I was in jail, she slept like a baby.
Mad, innit?
You know, she used to say she knew I was safe in jail, even though things happen in jail. But she could sleep when I went to jail.
But my mum was the same, mate. All she used to worry about was that knock at the door saying your son's dead or he's killed himself. You know, when they knock on the door and go, we've arrested him, there'd be a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she was the only one that could bail me out, and she'd never fucking bail me out. My ma would never bail me out like that. And it'd only be like, bail would be set like 150 quid, something shit like that, you know what I mean? And it'd be in the mad to me ma. I remember my mum standing there thinking, 150 quid, that's sound, my ma will get me out now. Because she knew what I wanted to do. She knew that every fibre in my body was screaming, go and use fucking drugs, go and cause fucking destruction, go and be a problem to society. And she went, I haven't got it. And then I resent her. But she saved my life.
Yeah,
more than one occasion.
Saying that, you know, these kids nowadays don't realise that people used to have to put money up for you for bail.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a serious charge back in the day, and the court date, it didn't have the custody time limits like that they do now. You know, when they get to walk out,
yeah.
The court date was like 6 months away, and it was unheard of. So I went for a JC, I got it. I'm a local shopkeeper, I have to put up 20 grand, you know, and I'm still mates with the shopkeeper to this day.
Right.
It's not even my family.
JC's a judge in chambers, and if you got a JC, like, it was really unheard of, weren't it, JCs? Because you had, remember, used to go away with 2 bail-ups, weren't it?
Yeah, you go
the
for first court, and then the following week.
Yeah, and everyone, like, I remember my first bail-up, bang, refused. The prosecutors, the police said against you, you're not getting it. But the whole week that was leading up to the second court appearance was like, I've got to get bail. And I'd ask everybody in the jail, what do you think? What do you think? What do you reckon? What do you reckon I should do? And you go up and you have that little bit of hope. And then you get refused again.
And come back and see them.
And I think that was the only time that I ever got that acceptance that I was fucking locked up. You know what I mean? Because like, but then you got a bit more hope. JC, I'll throw a JC in. You know, like, we had to go to committals, didn't we?
Yeah. They don't have committals now, do they? They're in Crown Court after 1 week, aren't they?
Yeah, and I hadn't been to jail for a long time, and when I did go back, I was quite surprised how fast, they called it fast tracking now.
Yeah.
Bang, you're in court one day, and next thing you're getting sentenced 2 weeks later. No probation reports. They'll just, your history, see, this is what happens now. These kids need to learn that their history will dictate their sentence.
Yeah.
These days. I hadn't been nicked for years, you know.
It's like, here's what I tell kids. You get arrested for stuff that you haven't done, and it's an occupational hazard. Because at the end of the day, when you got away with stuff, you don't go and knock on the police station and say, I done that, arrest me.
Yeah.
But these kids are crying over spilt milk that they're getting arrested for something they haven't done. But they don't, not thinking about the times when they've done. Yeah, so I tell kids that. And they understand.
What's the feedback that you get from?
Feedback's amazing, you know. Honestly, the feedback's amazing. Really is amazing, and you know that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Is that's the reward, isn't it? I get messages like yourself, feedback, and that. I get messages off young lads saying, you know what, Bill, I appreciate your podcast. It's opened my eyes. It's made me think a little bit more. And this is what like I hope to achieve. That me and you sitting here, you know, similar ages, we can identify with similar experiences growing up. We've been in and out of institutions, prisons, premature death, that was on the cards, you know. And we're one of the few, and we are, and I know it, that we're one of few that are still here, right, willing to make a change for our communities. You're not here, I can see you here, I don't think you're here to start like fucking making dollars off people, you know what I mean? You're here to change people's lives, change people's thinking.
I never got into this about money, do you know, because obviously I volunteered for years, do you know, but now I have to live, but I have other forms of income. I don't mean illegal ones, I do some other kind of work, nothing to do with this, do you know, I do a bit of security now and then, and stuff like that, and obviously my sponsor's base and the twins look after me. So it's never been about money, and it'll never be about money, because I put people before profit, where a lot of people put profit before people. Yeah,
and that's that's your integrity. So what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
you know, and it's I think that's important, because over the years, there's been a lot of people, you know, even from Liverpool, mate, that have stood up and said, yeah, we're going to be doing this for the community, we're going to be changing people's lives, but on the other hand, you know, they're selling drugs.
And getting caught with guns.
We know who that is, don't we? Rattling the cage, man. We know who that is, but that's their story, and that's their journey, and that's not what we're about, you know what I mean? Have you never had the experience with any of them fucking...
Yeah, me and him has a past, but he never wrote about the past in his book.
No.
No.
Well, I've
never had beef with him. No.
I had a phone call off him once.
But I've had financial gains off him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's given me money. We'll just leave it at that. You know? I never ever say this, but when people go in and write books, you know, I'm in the middle of writing a book now, and I'm not gonna lie in it. I might leave stuff out.
Yeah.
But don't go on like you was the wickedest man in the world.
Yeah.
When Manchester people come up there, and it was a different thing.
Yeah, they were a little bit older than us, weren't they?
Yeah, a lot older.
Yeah, a lot older. You know what I mean? Yeah,
the fighting preacher.
The fighting preacher. So, what's the title of your new book going to be called? Have you did one before?
Nah, I keep writing it and keep ripping it up, but me and Steve Rafe, we're supposed to do it today, and I forgot. You reminded me yesterday I was here, and I told him before, and he was all right about it, but I don't know. I think it's going to be LOL.
Is this the kid from Middlesbrough?
Newcastle,
yeah. Friend of Brian Cockrell's.
Yeah. I think it's going to be LOL.
Is that the title? LOL?
Yeah, luck or loyalty, I think.
Do you believe in loyalty? Do you think loyalty is important?
Nah, I believe in it, but
it's very rare.
I see people selling out their own brothers, sisters, their mums and dads. Do you know?
Yeah.
The old school method has gone away a long time ago.
Yeah, and it has, mate. It's like, you know, you're either loyal to one or you're loyal to none. And I remember, like, back in the day, it seemed that your little firm, the Pepper Hill, were all loyal to each other.
Yeah.
You know, I see now you would afford to be reckoned with within the prison system as well. You know, I remember that. I recall all the times that, like, you know, you don't. I had a fight with a kid, but I didn't even. Petrie, right? I don't know, Matthew Petrie. I don't know if you ever remember.
Yeah, it's from Wivenshaw.
Right. So what's happened? Right, there's a kid called Popeye. I don't know if you remember Popeye.
Yeah.
Well, I'm standing. I'm just landed in Italy, and I've got my little tray. Remember, you used to stand there with your tray, go and get your fucking little bit of tea. Now this kid called Popeye was standing in front of me.
Ben Chill boy.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was with him. He just said something to me like, "Who are you looking at?" No, and I was like, "The fuck, man? It's just like giving me fucking chips, and I know what I mean." I said, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" And I sparked him. Right, now what's happened? Right, I've come out, get my teeth being dragged off the screws there, and I'm just like, I'm fucking fuming, wondering, confused as to why he's kicked off. And then Matthew Petrie was standing at the door, and he just fucking launched at me, mate. He just dived on me, and I was fucking rolling around with him in the Chevy, and we were down the block. And that's what, like, it was like this with the Manchester firm, because there was a lot of like, fucking
different clans in it, different areas.
You had Seaton Mill, you had Bolton, Greater Manchester. I remember Salford Pete, and I remember a lot of kids back then. You know what I mean? And like you said, like, most of these are dead now.
Yeah, Vinnie Clay. He kind of like.
He could have a go, Vinnie.
Yeah, he put Manchester on the map in Italy, didn't he?
Yeah,
really, he did. He was
a tough.
He'd go to the gym, him and Howie, wouldn't they? And they'd have it with the Scousers, so they made it safe for us Manx. Obviously, I had people, but they kind of like set the star out.
There was like the likes of Lee Reeves and that.
They was mad, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a few.
Peter Madu was there.
Peter Madu, yeah. I know Peter well.
The old flat is good guys. They was dead close to Turbo as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Darren's up to now, and I'm not too sure. I've seen Donovan, he's not too bad.
Darren's away, isn't he?
Is he away?
Yeah, he's away for that thing over in Spain, isn't he?
He spends a lot of time away with all these, and you know, and it's just, I think back and on reflection, I think to myself, you know, what's happened to most of the kids that were there? You know, we were a product of the 90s, early 80s.
Most of them are dead, aren't they?
Yeah.
The majority of them are dead.
So what's your higher power?
I don't know. There's somebody guiding me.
Yeah.
You know, there's somebody guiding me. I don't know who it is or what it is, but I'm alive because of it. Do you know? I just lost 6 stone and I'm alive. My diabetes has gone, my blood pressure's gone. I've got an allergy to dairy products, as you can tell with my nose, mucus. My sister used to tell me when I was young that I had an allergy to dairy products, and I used to say, no, I haven't. But when I get pissed off, when I go in them low moods, I go and eat chocolate, drink milk, eat custard, and then I'm fucking recovering for days.
Yeah.
But now I'm sorting my shit out, because this bowel disease that I've got, it's not dangerous, but if you don't sort out your diet, it is.
Yeah, I don't think we've either of us have come through life without any consequences. I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer that was aggressive in 2016. I'm like, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I was taking care of myself, and I was thinking, why me? And me mate went, well, why not you?
You know what it is? The higher power only gives you what you can handle.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously my mental health's up the fucking wall most days, but I can handle it. I get through each day because I just think to myself, tomorrow's going to be better, and I try to talk about it. So if you talk about it, it's like you say, a problem I've shared is a problem I've done it. So yeah, my mental health's fucking up the wall. The last few days it's been really bad.
That must be a tough to cope with some days, because it's a big thing these days as well, mental health, isn't it? Do you take medication for it?
No, and you know what it is? It's not just a mental health. When I'm not sleeping for them 3 days, Wednesday up until last night, 2 days. I woke up on Wednesday morning, went and done a college. Then from there I went to do a night shift. I had 2 hours spare, and I tried to sleep in my car, I couldn't. And I wasn't even supposed to work the night shift, but my mate worked my night shift that weekend, so I had to do it. So then I had to go from there, finished at 6 in the morning, and instead of going from Clitheroe home to my house, I went straight to Rochdale and done the college again, and from there I went and done some mentoring and that.
Do you think sometimes that you're burning the candle at both ends? Is it, are you like me? Are you in a position where you've got to be doing something all the time?
Yeah, but you know, this week with the mental health and my health, I've decided that next week I'm going to take 3 days off.
Yeah.
Last week I took 2 days off. That's unheard of. Do you know? Even if I'm not working, getting paid, I'm out running around doing stuff with kids or going and helping people out. So this week I've decided next week I'm having 3 days off.
Brilliant. Did you find it difficult?
I say that, but yeah,
I say this as well.
But yeah, my mental health this week has been really bad, and I'm not ashamed to say it. This week, I swear to God, if I would have got hit by a train, I wouldn't have been bothered. This week, that's how low I've been. But you know what? I got to stay positive and live to fight another day. Do you know? Because if anything happens to me, there's gonna be people buzzing off me in it. So I've got to keep going.
Yeah. And you know what, right? I find it sometimes difficult to sit with how I feel, when I'm on my own. Bit of time to yourself, and you have all that then uninvited thoughts coming through the back door of your mind and giving you a hard time, and you're not worth it, and affecting your self-esteem and your confidence and your shit. And
you feel like I do, because I have them same thoughts. But the only thing that sorts mine out when I'm doing that, if I get on my motorbike, when I get on my motorbike and I'm out down the road, I don't even know that I've ever had mental health. It just clears my mind. But then when I get off my motorbike and put it away, it all just comes flooding back.
Well, that's what I used to do, is to just get in the ring and fight, and box, because it take away everything that was happening outside of that square, that ring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'd get out, and then it'd all come flooding back. I'd have to keep doing something ongoing, and I was always chasing that next thing. Drugs was a good way of escape at the time. It was good to suppress every feeling he had. But then, you know, it doesn't take the problems away. What I do today, do you do any meditating? Do you ever meditate?
Nah, I don't, you know, just eat.
Just eat?
That's my drug, eating.
Yeah.
And eating the wrong things.
So that, and you know what, you're not alone here, because I've got that. I do well, I can eat well through the day. And for some reason, I wake up early hours in the morning and just eat
In the fridge.
And I'm thinking to myself, and I beat myself up, you know. Fucking sit downstairs and I've got my hand in my hands and I think, what are you doing, lad? You're training like this, and you're eating well through the day, and then overnight, there's something fucking wrong with you. I've been doing this for years, you know.
Yeah, but I do night shifts, so it's like it's normal to eat in the night shift, but I eat through the day when I'm not sleeping as well, so...
So you're just eating on your feelings, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you think it takes it away, though? Do you think it helps?
It doesn't take it away, but whilst you're doing it, you're doing an action, so you're concentrating on that, so you're avoiding them voices, them dark things and things like that. But when you're full and you feel like shit for eating all that, them thoughts come back.
Yeah, so it's good that we can talk about this, because we're coming to the end in a minute.
No.
I've enjoyed the different kind of topics, mate. It's been...
We'll have a round 2 and a round 3 in it.
Yeah.
We'll do a round 2 and a round 3.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. So, you know, because you've gone from like being a gang member, getting shot, 27, even being fucking born of rape. When you said that at the beginning, I didn't know. I couldn't.
A lot of people don't know that, and you know what? I wasn't ever gonna say anything because I've got brothers and sisters to my dad, and I've never ever spoke to them about it. But I can't lie no more, and because my book's gonna be coming out at some point, it's gonna be in there, so I have to talk about this. You know, and my dad died before. My brothers and sisters will mostly fall out with me for this. My dad died before I knew this. Do you know what I mean? And if I would have known this, he wouldn't have got a funeral. He would have been dumped on a skip. Do you know, knowing what my mum went through. And the only reason I found out is when my mum was dying, she'd write notes. And throughout the years and years when she was alright, she'd write notes, but I would never dream of looking at them. But one day, I went in a drawer and read them. And there was some... I'm not even going to go into it because my mum's resting, do you know, but my mum didn't have an easy life at all. Obviously that with me being conceived through rape. Yeah. But all the stuff happened to my mum as a kid and things like that, it's, do you know, and when I read this about rape and all that, and I'm sorry to my brothers and sisters, I blame myself because I was born through it. And everyone said that I was a favourite child and I never seen it, and now I realise that it might have been possible. Do you know, it's... I think to myself at times that if I wasn't born, it wouldn't have happened. So I was born out of something so sad.
And you're not responsible. You know that? You're not responsible. And see, to write this stuff as well, it's a way of healing. It's called the catharsis of I had the same thing. I wrote, because when you write about stuff like that, you can't escape it. You know, it's like there's a saying: you can fool a baker and get away with a bun, but if you fool yourself, you'll end up with none. So when I was writing this book, and I was writing about growing up and how it affected me and what I witnessed and what I was subjected to, I was breaking down. And I'm not ashamed to say I was crying. I was sobbing because it was peeling. It was like that onion. You're peeling away those layers, and it was the only way that I was going to heal. And for me to get through all that, and I've got brothers who and sisters who are pissed off with me sometimes when I talk about my dad and the way it is, but they didn't see it. You know, I'm the oldest. You know, and I don't think they really watch these podcasts no more because they're fed up with it. They did in the beginning, but no, they don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this book, mate. And if you ever need any help, you know, I can offer you a bit of guidance. But
I think he'll be out next year. I'm not going to rush it. I need to get it right. You know yourself. There's a lot to get into 300 pages.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be 300 pages. Mine was what? 200 and... The first one was 205.
But that's what I mean. I've got enough for about 6 million pages.
Start to get a number 2 out. Get a number 2.
My barrister, Chris Dark, he's going to write the foreword.
Yeah.
Because we have a good relationship. He defended me for years and years, and now we're friends.
That's good. That's nice. Do us a favour. I know you might not want to tell me about this because you said to me before while the camera was off about you shooting yourself.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's probably not the first time that's happened, has it?
I was in this place, a blues, like a Shabib.
Yeah.
And me and some boys was in there, a little toilet cubicle, and I was grabbing a shotgun off them, and it went off, and it hit me in the stomach. But the pain that I felt, I swear I thought I was dying. I was on fire and all that. And then when I got my top off and all that, there was only like 3 little holes where pellets had gone. But I swear, before I got my top off, I was going on like I was dying. I thought I was dying. It was that hot and that painful. And I sent some girl to go to the petrol station to get some Dettol so I could wash it. And then I never carried a shotgun after that.
Were all the lads roaring off you over there?
Yeah. Even the girls was. But we stood next to the sink in the toilet, and it blew the sink away as well.
Wow.
But no one's ever heard about that. Look at you, put me on a spot.
It's nice, no. Well, thanks for that. Do you know what, mate? I've really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to reading your book when it's out. And thanks to Atticus for giving us the room.
Yeah, Atticus.
Appreciate that, mate.
Nick is a diamond. He lets me film everything in here. He gives me food, he gives me drinks, and
do you know what? He made me feel really welcome. I was outside, I didn't even know where I was, and he come out and he recognised me. He said, "Billy, want a cup of coffee? And I'll be upstairs to set you up." So Nick, nice one for that.
He's a good guy.
Base
security, the best security in Manchester, maybe the Northwest. And you know what? I don't say that because it's my best mate or whatever, but they actually care.
Yeah.
They're not like just bouncers that go and beat people up, because you know yourself, the doors was rough back in the day, and they do care. We do a lot of safeguarding work, with kids. We do a lot of support and security and supported housing.
And twins, they're the two lads who've got this clothing brand, haven't they?
Yeah, Jez and Half.
I seen them.
My brother's dead, yeah?
Yeah, I seen them as I was coming in,
Yeah.
Yeah, smoking cigars.
Oh, was he here?
Yeah, they were leaving as I was entering, and I was like, something in a big crazy Bentley.
Yeah, they're the best, You know what they do. I'm not just saying it because they look after me. They think of others before they think of themselves. Brilliant. That's why they're successful.
Yeah, man. And I agree with that. With that, thank you. And we'll leave it there.
Nice one.